everybody, I'm Alexis and I help INXs actualize their goals and take risks in life. In this video, I'm sharing some of my money advice for Ns, especially INTJs. I talk about how debt affects Ns specifically. I talk about my thoughts on credit cards. And then finally, I share kind of my elegant personal finance system that runs itself. Like, we're tired of the Excel spreadsheets. We're tired of the envelope systems and the details. That's S world. This is an N budgeting system. Categories and blocking, no more details. So if you want to be more confident in your finances and reach your wealth potential, keep on watching. Also, did you guys know about this new chapter system down here? So if one part of the video seems more interesting to you, I have no hard feelings. You can go ahead and hop around. Apparently this is new a month ago. That is so legit. So yeah, hop to wherever. We got the chapters in this little scrubbing bar here. Ooh, so when I first looked into budgeting, I realized very quickly, before I even knew about personalities, this is an SJ world. I mean, you look at Dave Ramsey. Some people think he's an INTJ, but you cannot convince me he's not an SJ. And you got his envelope system. You got these Excel spreadsheets and budget planners. It's too much. The details, the level of details is too much. These Excel spreadsheets are long and you can't even see them all from one page. You have to scroll. I'm like, oh, it's too much. So naturally, being an INTJ, I saw that and was like, no, thank you. We're just gonna see what happens. I was like, you know what? I want to rise above this. This is too simplistic for me. What I need to do is read a book about the market projections for the next 50 years. I need to read about the cyclical nature of the economy over thousands of years. And I'm reading all these books that are way high level and quite frankly don't apply to me as I'm sitting here eating Chick-fil-A every single day and spending all my money on coffee and clothes. And so then I'm sitting here reading all these finance books that don't apply to me. Classic INTJ thing. Doing step 8,000. Or theoretically doing step 8,000 and then not doing step 1. So no, INTJs, we gotta stop doing that. So what I really needed was a more elegant, simple system that wasn't so detail oriented and was more big picture and chunking and gave more of the philosophy and wasn't so micro detail oriented. So that's what I created. I created this system and it runs itself. Okay, so my system is basically split into 2 parts. The first part is the setup and then the next part is basically the maintenance and what you actually have to do from month to month. That part is tiny. I mean, it's basically nothing. So, okay, so let's talk about the setup. And the setup basically comes down to blocking, and it's chunking your money instead of having to outline my phone costs this, and my water costs this, and my heating costs this, and you have hundreds of things you have to keep track of. What you're gonna do is gonna chunk all those numbers, and I want you to do is sort all of those things. So you're gonna look through the last 3 months. This is as detail-oriented as it gets. Sorry, guys, you won't have to do this again. But you're gonna go through your last 3 months, and you're gonna sort your bills into categories. So my categories, I'll read them to you. Mine are bills, so that's phone, rent, heating, all that sort of stuff. Then I have dreams as a category, so that's things that I've spent money on, if I'm saving up for a Mac. Then I've got groceries and gas. I didn't include groceries and bills because they're a lot more variable than my bills are, and also gas can be a lot more variable depending on if I have trips or what's going on, or COVID. Then I've got one for eating out and coffee. This is very variable. I really have a lot of control about how this goes. And then my last one is learning and clothes. It's basically just a fun account. It's not necessarily long-term goals, but it's something fun in the moment. You can have your own variation of that. So you're gonna go through, you're gonna see the collective amount that you have spent historically in each of those categories. I promise you, it's the last time you'll ever have to work with so many details. Not really, sometimes the system doesn't go as good as you planned and then you have to do it more often. Sorry. Anyways, step 2 of the setup. You're gonna make a bank account for each of these. So I've got 6 different bank accounts. Some banks have folders. That is the ideal way to do it. Let's do folders. Banks, why can't you get on board with things? Banks have so many different hoops you have to jump through. So basically you make a different bank account for each of these. So if I look on my bank's app, I've got 6 or 7 different accounts, just all right there, and then I've nicknamed them, and it's all easy to see. And then finally, next time you get paid, instead of just having an all-in-one checking account and savings account, you're then gonna sort into these different accounts how much you want to be in there. And you can try it out for a month and see how the amounts are, and then after that, you can just set up auto transfer so that as soon as you get paid, it just sorts itself, and it's now in those accounts that you want to be in. Whew. Okay, so that's the setup. So now we're to the part for what you have to do each month. What you have to do each month is 1, if you don't want to do auto transfer, you just transfer yourself into those accounts, and then 2, you just check the app and see how much you have left for each thing. So it's super simple. If you wanted, you could have a debit card for each of these. So if you went out to coffee, you could just have, you'd have, like I said, I don't know, you'd have 6 debit cards. But if you went out to coffee, you could just, with a Sharpie on those cards, you could label them. So you could have your coffee debit card, you could have your groceries debit card, and you could label all these with a Sharpie. And so then every time you go out, you just pay with that one, and then you look on your app, and you can like real-time see. You don't have to do any calculating. You can just at real-time see, and you don't have to go to Mint, which is like lagging days behind. You don't have to put in an Excel sheet. You don't have to put in a budget planner. It just updates real time. So I only have a debit card for the one, so that's maybe I've made it a little more complicated for myself in that way, just because I don't like carrying around physical objects. So what I do is I have one checking account, and that's what all my finances flow through. So if I go to a coffee shop and I don't know how much the coffee's gonna be, I'll just pay for it from my checking account, and then as soon as I pay, let's say it was $4.50, then I go sit down and I'll transfer it out of the coffee account into checking, so that some came out of the coffee account to balance it that way. Debit cards probably would be the easiest way. Then literally, I guess you have to have more of a wallet, I guess. I hate carrying things. So I don't have a purse. I literally just have my phone, and I slip my debit cards in the back of the phone. So that's literally it. It doesn't require you to have all of the different things laid out in front of you, like your spreadsheet and your envelopes. That the idea of the envelope system is so great, but the deal is that I don't think ends can handle carrying so much stuff around. We just can't handle it. So this is kind of a digital version of the envelope system, I suppose. So it's like you've got your budget and it's all whoop, and you can instantly see how things are going. Some random little side tips that I found have been great is I set one goal for each month. You know, INTJs, we set so many goals and we're just like, yes, goals, how exciting. But just set one. Just pick one and meet that for that month. Because I have too many goals. Like I want to eat out less. I want to drink coffee less. I want to pay off student loans faster. So many goals. So for each month, just pick one and then succeed at that one goal. Just pick one. I know, yeah, INTJs. You like goal setting too much? The next kind of tip is I give myself kind of an incentive to spend less money. So each month I say, okay, if I have any extra money left over at the end of this month, then I'm going to pay for this. And for this month, I'm going to pay for a laptop. But if you give yourself an incentive, you'll have money left over. You know, usually I have like $200 left over, and then I get to, you know, do whatever fun thing I want to do with it. And then also finally, INTJs can be super unrealistic sometimes. We think with our TE, it's going to be so efficient and smooth and perfect. And I think we kind of idealize our TE sometimes. It's not going to be as perfect as you think, but it's not going to be ruined either. So just keep that in perspective. Okay, a note on credit cards. I have never met a person who thinks that they're not working the system. Every single person I meet is like, oh yeah, credit cards are bad for some people, but not me. I'm working the system and I'm getting the deals out of it. But the only people that I think that's genuinely true for are people that I actually see that are already wealthy. If you're already wealthy and you're using a credit card and you're paying it off or whatever and getting the rewards, great. But if you're like lower class, I wouldn't do it. Don't do it. It's too tempting and there are too many situations you'd run into. Once you actually become wealthy and then you've demonstrated that you have the responsibility and the capacity to be good with money, then I guess you can go ahead and get a credit card, but I wouldn't do it before that. That's just kind of me. And then also a note on debt. I don't think ends should get into debt. I mean, I don't think anyone should. It's not the best thing to get into, but especially ends, because as soon as you're in debt, like in my case, I'm paying off student loans. Almost done. But I'm paying off student loans and it puts you in SI mode. You're like doing the past and it takes you out of flow. So if you look at all the INs that I'm speaking to on this channel, you either have NE or you have NI. And NE loves to see all the possibilities, and debt just instantly kills the possibilities, just strikes them from you. It's like, nope. Don't have this. All your options are shrinking because you have this debt you need to pay off. And then similarly with NI is all about, you know, the vision, long-term goals. This is where we're going. And you can't do that if you have this debt trapping you, you're dragging this debt behind you. So yeah, that's what I say about debt. I don't think anyone should get into it, especially not ends. Oh, and also another reason that I just thought of why ends shouldn't get into debt is there's so much freaking paperwork. You know what I mean? Like I had to go through, for my student loans, I have like 3 different websites to go through, and the paperwork. What is the login? There are just too many details. So yeah. So see, it's that easy. So yeah, so what I want you to do today is sort your last history of transactions, like your last month of transactions, sort that into categories, and then make those categories into bank accounts today. There you go. I know maybe it wasn't as fun as you wanted it to be because INTJs are all about investing and stuff, but I really think this is like what you need to hear. If you have a better way, if there's a way to make this system more clean, more elegant, if you have a better way, please let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for ways to streamline things, solve problems, so let me know.